was a noise from somewhere deep. We heard the sound, it was bittersweet. Voices calling out from an aching heart, getting so much closer by staying apart, singing a song of hope and love that you heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive, we will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. The streets are empty, but the sky is clear. You want somebody and can't have them near, taking shelter where you can when the world is at stake. Alone together, trying hard not to break, singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive, we will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. A song for the lonely, the tired and the weary. A song for the broken, the mighty. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Get beyond our pride and greed, share everything that we need. We won't be ignored. We won't be ignored. We will be restored. Singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive, we will stay strong. 'Cause love is the word, and hope is the song.
Dawn, where's the snooze button?
Freddie, it's time to get up. We got a show to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hang tight, guys. Pressing the snooze one more time.
And it's time to do a show.
Morning time, snooze button.
Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to the breakfast at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Take a deep breath and a good whiff of that coffee brewing. Grab yourself some toast, a donut, or any breakfast. As Dawn and Freddie get you up and ready for the rest of your day.
So I grabbed myself and called 888-994-4995 to share a tip of the day.
Or just to say good morning.
So get ready for the time of your life.
Shake off your sleepies, buckle up, cause it's showtime!
Ring your bell.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the breakfast. Because we couldn't think of anything better to call this.
The breakfast, the brunch at this point in
The
time.
morning show.
Where we must.
And we're late again.
Happy Thursday?
Thirsty.
Thursday. Happy Thursday to you.
I gotta tell you, today we have woken to all new deals. Tune in today at 12 o'clock Because I'm not allowed to say
Confirmation?
anything yet.
You can say.
I can? This
Sure.
is a done deal?
Yeah.
Is the Brooklyn Cafe TV show going into the theater business?
Going into the theater
Are you
business.
sure?
We're covering that event. More to
I don't
come.
want just the event. This is red carpet. This is hairdos. I'm wearing a tux.
Do you have a tux?
Yeah, at the store.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Like red carpet gowns, the whole jewelry situation.
We're
going
doll
out.
this thing up.
Ah.
It's going to be a grand reopening
Grand reopening.
of
Movies of Del Rey. Proceeds go back to benefit the Brain Bowl, Alzheimer's, the reopening of the Movies of Del Rey, which is on Atlantic West on the Turnpike. They've been closed due to COVID for 18 months, and now, bam, they're reopening. It's going to be a great event. Vendor space available, food trucks, food, chefs, a little bit of Gubba Rum, a little bit of Capistara. That cafe's covering the red carpet. It's going to be great. And that movie that we got to promote a few years ago with Eric will be there. When All That's Left Is Love, a story of Alzheimer's and family coming together, dealing with parents going through dementia and Alzheimer's. It is a fantastic documentary. You haven't seen it yet.
I have that.
But wow. And it has won movie festival awards all over the world. And it's going to be there. $50 a ticket. You can find the event and the tickets on Facebook. We are going, and it's
But
brought
what is
to you.
going to be the attraction? What are we doing? Is she having? Do I have to bring in singers and speakers?
It's the movie.
It's a movie.
When All That's Left
How
Is
long
Love.
the movie?
Movie's an hour.
Okay.
Vendors. You can bring in music, some food, coming
What are we
together.
bringing some singers?
It's about the unity of the community.
So the unity is pretty good.
The unity
Why don't
of
we
the
bring in some
community.
singers? Because we got some friends
The
who
unity
will
of the
help
community.
us push this thing out. But what I'm excited about, I want to make it a grand ball. I want the cafe crew to be dressed up in gowns with the limos showing up and the pictures. And we have Mr. Photography, Mr. Abs here. All of that.
Did a great job yesterday. Those pictures were spot on. I got to get them posted today. Amazing pictures.
But can you imagine? I mean, this has always been on the bucket list.
I was thinking about, we've got our photographer, we've got everything that we got going. It's going to be a great event. Save the date, RSVP. You can find it on rainbowlevents.org. You can also find it on Facebook as an event. Saturday night, November 20th, ribbon cutting, 6:15. And then the
We'll give
movie
me
is at
scissors.
6:45. Ribbon cutting. Have you ever been to an official ribbon cutting?
I have covered it. I've never been the one cutting anything.
I didn't think we're cutting it. We're
Oh, no,
going
we're
to-
cutting. What cut? I don't
think
care
we're
if I
cutting
bring
the
4 or
ribbon.
5 ribbons.
Cut the
They
cord.
cut theirs and then we cut ours. I'm bringing the official ribbon cut. We're going into the movie theater business.
The ribbon cutting scissors. Again, think big. You know, that's big. You've never heard of that store, that big store in New York,
Which one?
where everything was big? You guys ever been to New York?
The
And,
toy store?
and everything was big.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember? I gotta look up and find out the name of it. But
Was
big.
it called Big?
It might have been called Big.
Alana, you ever heard of it?
I
Big
haven't heard of Big. I know
toy store.
It was a
FAO
movie,
Shorts.
Big.
Well, when I think of the movie Big, I think of FAO Shorts.
And that's what comes up when you Google
Yeah,
it.
so they
FAO
don't-
Schwartz. Big fun toys. I don't remember what was the biggest. I got to look it up. It wasn't FAO. It's just, everything was just big. They had oversized everything. I don't remember the name of it. I was younger when I went, but it was
the
not
small
FAO.
store?
Everything was oversized. Oversized toys, oversized calculators, oversized pads of
I want
paper.
to thank you for bringing my ex-wife to the Senate. Do you know, yesterday we had a fantastic show, and the only thing anybody remembers is that line. I got calls. Oof.
I don't know. That show yesterday, it was a great show we had yesterday, but I got to tell you, I was tired.
Why?
Because you weren't on set with me, so normally after I talk and I do and I go, I can turn it over to you, and you weren't there.
You go what?
I could like breathe and I look
How
at
do you
you.
do that?
You know, no, I breathe and I stop talking and I look at you and you take over the
I forgot to
conversation.
tell you that camera A, the Studio A camera was set up for whenever you needed a break. They had it all.
So you
figured
knew
out.
what was going on.
I knew, but there was so many moving parts. My head hurt. But we could have always gone to Studio A. They were all in there, had their ears on. The guys did a fantastic job yesterday. They brought it.
They brought it. Yesterday's show was amazing. We had the Dining Divas in set. We had Steve Gubb in the flesh. He's going to be back this afternoon. a lot of stuff. We went over to our Manchester studio. We talked fitness, a whole lot of great things. And today we get to do it again.
I know. What are we going to talk about today?
I have no idea. What do we ever know? We never know what's scripting out. But I'm excited to say that our newsletter went out this week.
I get to talk to you about that.
And we got people to
I
contact.
get to talk to you about that.
Be a host on your own show.
You know, when you started the Cafe Press a year ago,
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago, we were just putting something in print, sending out whatever. I never knew the impact that would have. Like, everybody wants to be in it.
I have to tell you, the opening rate on this was phenomenal. Over 50% opening rate, which is unheard of on email blasts. To be able to look at that and see it, it is spectacular.
Now, we have many shows that we produce. And one of the things that people don't understand is that we do this, but on top of this, we do a lot of other shows. You know, we produce other shows. And the funny thing is, we don't have time, for lack of a better word, to put everybody in the press. But now people are asking to be, demanding to be in the press. So we're going to have our work. I think you hit the nerve. And you sent out the piece where you can have your own
Host
show
your own show.
as
Fill out the
well.
form and send that in to us.
So I
Yep.
think the light bulb finally went on for a few people, and they're beginning to notice and say, you know something, some print is better than no print, which is true. And I gotta congratulate you because you really cackled that by yourself, and it was phenomenal. Even Gio is using parts of it on the new M Square website, which people still don't understand. Just be patient. But it was great. This cafe prep, people were asking me how come I'm not in it, as opposed to say, and then I said to them, oh, you opened it? What do you mean I opened it? I always open it. Well, I didn't know you wanted to be in it. What?
You know what? And I've realized this in looking at all these Instagram things. People's attention span, no insult. So they say, I quote, is that of a fly.
6 inches.
That of a fly is an attention span. You had about 10 seconds to grab. It used to be 30 seconds. It used to be that 30-second elevator pitch. You got 10 seconds now to capture somebody's attention. It's got to be a headline. It's got to be a color. It's got to be a quick information form and then a follow-up. Because
6 inches.
how long is your attention span? Although
Right.
you and I was talking to Vlad about this yesterday. When you sit down in a meeting, you will sit for 6 hours. You saw it yesterday. He was still sitting in that same meeting until 3:45 yesterday.
Yeah.
I got up, spun around a few times, ate lunch, did the floor, mopped the floor. He took out the garbage, sat with the kids, got up, got my hair done, and came back. And you were still working here. He has impeccable patience.
But think
yes.
about this. How old are you, Alana?
I'm 24.
And how old are you, Vlad?
27 next week.
So
When's your birthday?
we gotta celebrate your birthday. Oh, we
You
gotta
and
bring
Slick
in
have the
dancing
same
girls.
week. Wow. Okay.
Oh, double dancing girls. Okay.
Wait, what about the same week?
You and
Slick's
Slick have
birthday
the
is Sunday.
Yeah,
You're 4 days apart. Wow.
a year.
A year and 4 days. Okay.
So now check this out. They've been alive over 20 years. So when you sit down at a meeting with us and you want to do a production or you want to do a show or you want to do a segment, I got to look at 20 plus years of you. This isn't a meeting where you sit down and say, listen, this is what everybody has wants. But that ain't the way you do business. If you do, and it works for you, God bless you. I've been taught. You come in, you learn, and you go through steps. 20 some odd years for me to do a deal with Vlad, I gotta understand 20 some odd years of what he's been through to get his message out. And that's what happened yesterday. There was a whole lot of history going on in there. And I'm learning and learning. And I gotta tell you, this one sits and she listens. She's like a sponge. She's quoting me things that I said that I forgot. But you have to ask them questions that will bring out some of that history. So I will sit through. I've done 6-hour meetings. I have taken a napkin like this and written a contract in a meeting. You've seen it.
I've seen it.
I put a contract together on a napkin. I signed the back of it. They signed the back of it, and away we go. True?
100%.
Patience, because people sometimes really don't know what they want. You sort of got to get there together to the promised land.
That's true. And you have the patience of a saint.
But I love what I do. You pointed that out to me yesterday. I love what I do. I love the opportunity to be able to do it. I'll give you a classic example. We have our new friend, the Butter Lady,
Precious Treasures Gourmet Food.
which we are delighted that she is now part of the family.
We should go get some bread today
And
because
we are
we've got
gonna-
butter.
Well, what I've been trying to do in the cafe morning show is to bring up coffee, and I was gonna do donuts, but maybe we start with the butter and bread, and donuts if they want to play. And I want to do a real morning show deal. So the kids in here, they can have some coffee. I know he doesn't need bread, so I gotta find something that he can have. Maybe tea with
A dash of honey.
a dash of honey. But I want to be able to get that morning flow juices going because we're in fourth quarter.
Yes, we are.
And you know what this means?
Yep,
You either make it or break it. It's going to be now.
100%.
And if you don't believe me, I will show you 12 years of history that will prove it.
You saw us pushing yesterday.
It is time to get the groove on.
Did you hear breaking news?
Yeah,
The Dollar Tree, the dollar store, Dollar Tree, sorry,
yeah.
no longer going to be $1. They've got the Dollar Tree Plus now, $3 and $5 items because, like everybody else,
They can't afford it.
can't afford help the way they used to pay help, and goods are so much more now. So it is now the Dollar Tree Plus. Prices are going up.
Do you know how the Dollar Tree sells everything for $1? Does anybody understand that whole concept?
I guess in volume.
One is volume, and two is merchandise that wasn't selling. They get the overage. Like, do you ever notice that toilet paper is real small? Nobody really wants that crap. But they sell it.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. But that's good. That's good. But now there is no. Did you see the latest about the vessels in California that bring in goods to the country? There's thousands of ships out there in the ocean. There's nobody working. They can't unload the ships.
It's funny you say that because remember we all talked about when we get out of COVID, it's going to be the roaring 20s. Everyone's going to come out and party and have big events and everyone's going to come back stronger than ever. No, now it's called the ho-hum, non-roaring 20s, especially in California because can't get people to work. The 19 variant just put like this big water on all of the roaring 20s and everyone is sort of just mediocrity right now.
Well, the problem is that nobody wants to work. Everybody's afraid. Yada yada yada, and more yada yada. Did you see that? When I went to Costco on Saturday, closing at 6 o'clock, and I was eating my hot dog outside. The manager says, "Do you know anybody that wants to work?" He's asking me. It's just gotten that bad.
There's actually a sign at McDonald's on Palmetto and Powerline, $13 an hour. Want to work at
McDonald's is
McDonald's?
supposed to be $15 an hour.
I don't think it's mandated yet, but they're $13 an hour right off the bat.
No, they're one of the leading $15 an hour companies.
I don't know.
from
As
what I
opposed
heard.
to what's minimum wage? 9 and change, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't even think $8.75. I think.
but now at McDonald's on Palmetto and Powerline, $13 an hour for anyone interested.
Well, it's funny.
This is what's
because
going on.
There's nobody wants to work for small money.
It's like resentment. It's like some people looking at it like this whole time you had enough money to afford to pay us more, but because of this COVID-19 wave,
The
now-
truth is out.
Now it's a lot of resentment, repressed resentment over the years of emotion. People like it's not mediocrity; they're just trying to learn how to deal with it.
See, but some businesses had the money, some didn't, still don't. But in order to stay afloat, people are now not taking paychecks as owners to pay their employees to keep the business growing in the hopes that this fourth quarter is going to get you where you need to go. We kind of know that from experience.
Well, it's funny because I spoke to somebody who had a choice to make, which was to enhance a commercial to get more business or pay his workers. And he paid his workers. And I said to him, well, then you're busy. You don't need the commercial. No, I do need the commercial. So which is it? You want to advertise or pay what you got?
Well, you still got to pay what you got,
But then
right?
you have to find other ways to tell them to take a little less to pay for the advertising. When they run out of work, what are you going to do then? You're going to come back to the well? It ain't going to be the same price. I can tell you that.
I know. It's hard. Business is not easy right now, and validating. And we've got one of our producers who moved on to another job, and he says right now it's been a great job for him.
Yes, but he's a worker. He still goes back to the other job
Yep.
to take a tour here and there. He's still a worker. I mean, he's a worker. Now, did you see the latest? I got breaking news.
Tell me.
You know the guy who owns Amazon? Bezos?
Jeff Bezos?
That guy. That ship goes up, right? And it flies around and comes back down, right? The leader of that program was a female back in 2015, 16. And she did not like what was happening at where they built the rockets and all that. There's a lot of hanky-panky, sticky fingers is what I call it. Because guys were just outrageous. So she complained. Now she's running the program. They fired her in 2019 because they couldn't trust her. So she signed these papers and everything else that she can't bam off the company or that. She just released a book. She said, the hell with this. That little ship that goes up is the most unsafe thing in the world. Now she designed it with all these engineers. They have over 1,000 complaints of the engine. I saw that this morning. I almost tripped on my coffee. I played it again to make sure I heard it correctly. 1,000 reports. They've attacked 121 of them. 1,000 that ship reasons that ship should not go up.
Wow.
But they're not listening because it's a her.
I don't think they're not listening. Well, I don't know the story. But
I'm telling
maybe they're allegedly not listening because of the financials that are involved. Not that she's
They said
a woman.
to her, they don't trust her. Now she put the Mickey Mouse thing together and they don't trust her. Listen, let's call it what it is.
You got to hear the other side of the story.
Yes, ground it, and we'll hear the other side of the story.
Sure.
Because if the engineer who put this thing together, she was one of the leading brains, is saying it's not safe to fly, that's good enough for me, man. I'm not going on that one.
Gotta see what's going
Don't
on.
call me because I'm not going on that one. Also,
Tell me.
you like to fly during Christmas? Anybody likes to go away with the friendly skies in Christmas?
I haven't been away in 5 years. I haven't been away in a long time.
Well, President Biden is mandating everybody in the federal piece, including the pilots, to get the shot. Right? You know how there's 4,000 from United that refuse to get the shot.
Wow. It's an interesting conversation.
But wait a second. What happens in December when everybody wants to fly and they need those 4,000 pilots? I guess they're going to ground them.
Stay on.
Because Biden says there will be no exceptions. So they got another problem now. You're bringing in the military to fly these planes.
And that's because all of these planes fall under the FAA guidance.
That's
Not
right.
because they're private business, but because it falls under the federal aviation.
That's right.
Interesting.
There was a time when we were growing up, you guys are too young, maybe you weren't alive. The FAA, the air traffic controllers went on strike.
Oh, I remember that. That was crazy.
So planes were running into each other in the air. Because there was nobody watching the boys. The managers couldn't handle the volume.
Yep.
If you look at a map of planes any given hour of a day, there's millions of planes flying at the same time. And they all fly on different levels. And the president, I don't remember who it was, he brought in the military who did not know the equipment. My father says, I guess we ain't going to Puerto Rico, I can tell you that right
You're not going
now.
anywhere. You're staying on the ground.
70-something? In the 70s?
Was it that long ago?
No, it was long ago, yeah. Because now there's an FAA rule. If you go on strike as an air traffic controller, you go to jail. You go to jail. They no longer will let you go on strike. Cannot be because it is a safety hazard. Yeah, I mean, you can cripple a country if those guys go out. So shouldn't the same thing apply to airline pilots? And you can't fly these planes.
1981.
81.
I didn't think of it because I remember it. I wouldn't remember the
I remember
70s.
that. I was in school. I was like all over it. But can you imagine the craziness that's going on right now? Nobody wants to work, and you got people, planes flying all over the place.
President Reagan.
Yep.
Reagan was tough, man. I'm gonna tell you.
He was a dealer.
Oh, he was tough. He says, you know what? Go on strike. Yeah, we're bringing the military. Until the first planes collided. He says, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Well, you saw on September 11th when they had to take all the flights down. You saw how many flights are actually up in the air at 9 o'clock in the morning between 8:30 and 9
That's
that you
what I
had to
tell you.
bring down. Wow.
There is an app you can buy. It costs like $39 a month, so I didn't buy it. That shows airplanes. A lot of people in LaGuardia Airport in the day, there was this on the second floor. You sat there, had a cup of coffee or food, and it was fenced in, and you saw the planes taking off and land. And that was a place to date. You took your first date to watch planes take off. I was shocked. I was a kid. I used to say, why would anybody take anybody on a date to an airport? But it was a thing. It's like that watching. What is that called?
Well, you know, they made a
Watch.
play of it. This is called Come From Away, actually. It's going to be down at Broward Center. It's about when they had to ground all the planes from September 11th. At one town where they had all these people, a small town where they grounded the planes, where everyone had to now be part of this town, how the town came in and they took them in. There was no hotels, there was nothing. And how the residents took people into their homes. The restaurants opened up for free food because planes had to land where they had to land. There wasn't like you had a choice. So there's a whole show about this coming. Actually, Broadway is opening back up down here too, which I'm excited about.
I remember.
Trickling down.
It's funny. I was in the flight path to LaGuardia, where I live, on Hollywood Avenue.
It's me.
Good morning,
How
mate.
are you, me? I was on a flight path and I met a guy. I don't remember. I guess my attorney, somebody introduced me to this guy. And the guy tells me, we're having a conversation. Like I tell you, one of those lengthy conversations. And he says to me, yeah, I'm the one that routes the planes to LaGuardia. And I said, you're the one that routes the planes to LaGuardia? Yes, because they moved it. The planes used to be north of me or west of me, down where they're flying over my house. And you know what happens when planes fly over your house?
It's noisy.
That's one thing. The soot, the black stuff, the ash comes down on the street.
Well, they're supposed to be doing mosquito pest control tonight in Palm Beach County at like 6:45.
Well, where I lived, there wasn't a pest control problem because I had nothing but black ash. So my roof tiles turned black.
Wow.
And I used to complain. I said, so it's you. So I told him, yo, bro, look what you're doing to my house. And they moved it. I swear to God, it's a true story.
How
I
do
don't
you
know if
go
it was
through
because
life
of
what
that.
you do? That's
Oh my
amazing.
God. And I said, I complained to the guy for an hour, and I fed him. And then my neighbor, who was, he was a somebody, came over and he says, it's you? You got to put that thing back. But they did it because of September 11th. He gave him a deal you could refuse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you and your neighbors.
And he and they moved it back. I don't know if it was because of that. It just maybe it was coincidence.
I don't know. I do not know.
Soot out of a jet engine.
Do me a favor.
He says, I would really appreciate. He told me I
So,
was dying.
big news. If you
Big
like
news.
basketball,
Oh.
March Madness is now going to highlight the ladies.
Long overdue.
Oh, right?
I thought March Madness had the ladies playing at the same time.
This year?
Actually, no.
No?
They ignored the ladies, and then the social media strike happened where they talked about
Yeah.
how we got less equipment, less all of this.
So they're going to put them in there?
Social media pressured the league, and now they gave them more equipment, same as the guys, probably even more salary.
Channels? Now, did you see?
It's kind of cool. It's interesting, right?
Do you
our
ever
way.
watch Madness?
No, but now that it's going to be the women, I feel like compelled, and it's smart marketing, right? Because now they're going to target those of us that didn't watch to now watch.
You couldn't find the women. That's why I didn't watch it. But March Madness is crazy. Especially when the team shows up that shouldn't be there, Cinderella team. It is unbelievable. Now you got the women. Now, what is the women's... Slick, I can't talk to you. I'm on the air. What is the number one women's basketball team that won every year?
I don't know. What is the number one?
And you know, that was going to be a call to action. But
It's
yes,
Connecticut.
Yeah, oh, yes, it is. And they won, what, 10 years in a row or something? And then it was Stanford won like 4 years in a row. But it's amazing how those two programs is where everybody goes. Then you go to the WNBA, the women's thing, which is getting more attention now as well. You know, it's really funny. Necessity makes you do things. So because the ratings are down, money's down, they need somebody else to bring it back up.
You got to do what you got to do. Because
Gotta do
now
what you
it's this
gotta
whole vaccination situation with basketball. Not everyone's getting vaccinated.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, did you see him come out?
Yeah,
Oh
he
my-
stated a quote yesterday.
You saw that? It's gone viral.
They're
Eh.
pressuring Andrew Wiggins.
Kareem told him, what are you, stupid? Just like this. What are you, stupid? You don't see what's going on? There are people dying in the streets, you moron. You're making all this money. You want to jeopardize that?
He stated, quote, unable to grasp the seriousness, urging the league to remove players who were unvaccinated.
But they're doing it even though they haven't announced it. They're gonna, and the Nets have a problem right here. Everybody doesn't want to get vaccinated.
People are having a problem with these states like New York that are mandating vaccines. They're not going to be able to play.
People still dropping like flies with the vaccine.
They're not going to be able to play. And if you don't play because you don't have the vaccine, you're not going to get paid.
That's right.
That is when you hit them in the pocketbook, finally,
That's what's
maybe you're
gonna
going to see.
Listen, all I know is if all of us was vaccinated and people were still dying, then I believe we got a cause. But I'm learning from people who haven't been vaccinated. They're in the hospitals, and now they're urging everybody to get vaccinated after they got sick. It's a gentleman in Kentucky who's an avid radio guy screaming, oh, that's bull, they'll do that, and he's in the hospital right now. They don't know if he's leaving. I got an aunt in Arizona who may not be leaving.
You do?
Because she was an advocate of not. You know, you have choice. I get it. But, you know, it's sad to see you go if you choose and something else happens. Because normally this thing pushes something that you have and makes it worse. So if you got asthma, your lungs pop. If you got a bad heart, your heart goes. And they're going to call it COVID or they're going to call it a heart attack. They've gotten too much into the definition.
Well, you see what's going on now with sports. It's all interesting.
Big money in sports, man, I'm going to tell you.
It's the only
World
like
Series
new
is coming.
TV. Who's going to be in it?
Programming and poison.
Anybody have predictions who's going to win the World Series this year? Anybody? You got to look at the San Francisco Giants. They're the number one team. You got to look at the Dodgers. They're right there.
Alan, who's going to win the World Series?
The Marlins.
The World Series?
Yeah, World Series.
Dodgers again.
You think that
Dodgers.
they're going to beat the Giants? I think the Giants have better hitters. But we'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. What about the Cardinals? They finally lost after winning 17 in a row. 17
What about your
games
Mets?
in a row. Who?
Your Mets?
Shh. The Mets got a major problem. I don't know. You're going to see a whole different team next year because they got a lot of free agents that are money makers. The Yankees want Syndergaard. I think he's gone.
What about the Marlins?
The Toronto Blue Jays want Conforto. I think he's gone. Who?
Marlins.
The Marlins will be good in about 10 years if they hold on to their players. If they hold on to them, they'll be great.
But under Derek Jeter's leadership.
Didn't they make the playoffs last year and surprised everybody?
Yep.
How can a team go from that to this? Because they gave away some of the good pitchers?
Or losing chemistry.
I don't know. I don't understand the Marlins. But I wish they would give me a Major League Baseball team for 1 year.
Yeah.
Just give me it for 1 year.
We'll have the Bitmoji like you play when you're bored here.
I deny all of that. Fifth Amendment.
Sometimes you hear me go, oh man, what happened? Oh, I missed it. And there's this little Freddy Bitmoji running around the bases on his phone. Is it true? Honest to goodness.
I downloaded Madden for my phone to get to the football.
And there's this little Freddy running around the bases.
Yes. Look at you now. The helmet has a fedora.
It's hilarious. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Save the date again. We've got November 14th at Old School Square. We got a lot going on. I'm really, really
14th,
excited.
Don't forget.
Unity of the community, and now November 20th at the Movies of Delray.
Come and help us celebrate our new movie theater in Delray.
Celebration of education. A lot going on. We're going to put all of this out in our next Cafe Press. It's going to have to come out sooner rather than later. Have a great morning, everyone. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in a little bit.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the morning show. As I go now to fill my mug, which is completely empty, I'm coffee out.
Your cup runneth over.
No, cup and dry.
Have a great morning, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. Tune in for all of our other morning shows coming from Ant Media Productions, and then our afternoon show at 12 o'clock.
And always join us for more fun and laughs, because, you know, your day starts when you smile.
Have a great morning, and we'll see you in a little bit.
And don't be late.